Hello, YouTubers, vapors, and vaping voyeurs. Welcome to Erock Vapes. Da, 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 da. Yeah, no fancy music. Sorry about that. I definitely want to give a first shout out immediately to the people who have already subscribed just based off the intro that I did. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support, really do. Because this is not about making money. This is about me giving back, and of course, subscribers is what helps me reach out to everyone out there. So I do want to say thank you to everyone. First off, if you're not of an adult age, please don't watch this video. We will be discussing adult products, vaping products, things of that nature. There might be a word or two that you might not like, but anyway. Yes, the first official intro. Here we go. I am Erock Vapes. I am a smoker, vapor. I say smoker because I'm still struggling to get off. There's nothing embarrassing. There's plenty of people out there, trust me, that constantly fight that struggle. But anyway, the goal of this channel is going to be pretty simple. Have fun. And get some information out there. First thing I'm going to be covering is going to be a lot of kind of newbie stuff. So I mean, kind of boring for some of you, but hope you might find some things interesting. This is going to be directed more towards the vapors, or I should say the smokers that are just first thinking about getting off the stinkies, and they tend to walk into the stores and they hear about vaping, and they go into the stores and they see all these millions of products and get kind of overwhelmed, and it's much easier just to pick the pack you want off the shelf and say, yeah, give me that pack. That's what I really want. But hopefully, if you're still continuing to watch, this is going to be more about the fact that you do want to get off. And I'm hoping to really help with that fight, with that struggle. The first piece of advice I can give you, and it's a mistake that several people make, is when you first, let's say you find that device that you're looking for, or the device that they sell you, and you start getting off the cigarettes, and you start noticing, hey, I'm smoking less, and you start going, well, I'm going to save all this tons of money. No. What you need to do is whatever you currently spend on cigarettes, you need to set that aside, because believe it or not, you're going to possibly go through a couple of different devices until you ultimately end up with whatever it is that satisfies you. And during that transition, you'll spend some money. Unless you're just lucky enough that you happen to hit that first device and that first experience and go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But nah, it doesn't really quite work that way for everybody. Usually doesn't work that way for everybody. Didn't for me. You'll hear stuff, all the phrases, mouth to lung, direct to lung. But anyway, yeah, save your money, put it aside until you get to a point where you're satisfied with what you have. It's a good vape. At that point, you'll know what you're truly saving, because you won't know how much juice you're going to go through, etc., so forth. So let's cover some of the basic devices that most people are going to try and get off on. That didn't sound right, but yeah, we'll go with it. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick change up here, and just bear with me. We are going to actually show you a couple of devices. Give me 1 second. And what we have here is what's called a Jewel. This worked for my wife for a good year. This is a USB style vape device. As you see, you have a little charging port down there. You have this little pod here that simply plug and play. Usually has more juice in it than that. And it worked for my wife for a good year. But she eventually moved on. But it's not to say that you couldn't stick with something like this. I got people at work off cigarettes with a device like this, and they've stayed on it for a year and a half. So, I mean, you got devices like this. And just to give you an idea how this works, it's real simple. You breathe in. little bit of smoke comes out, but you get your nicotine. And this is based off of a nicotine salt. Don't even worry about nicotine salts and all that kind of stuff. Starting off, go with whatever works. They'll try and explain one thing, and then just try a device and see if it works. If you like something small, compact, this is good. If you like something, let's say, and I know people have seen this. My personal opinion is whatever it takes to get off cigarettes. You do have the blue as an option. This actually worked for me when I first, I've actually been vaping off and on for, 2009. But when I first really took it seriously and said, you know what, I really want to get off, this worked for me. It's a blue. This little charging case actually charges the batteries. Then you have these little cartridges here. It's real simple. You vape it. Once you're done, you throw it away, put a new one on. So that'll just give you an idea about that. Oops, sorry. Little in and fade in and out there. Fade to black. Yeah. But another simple, same concept. Looks like an e-cigarette. Lights up blue. You like lights? And it worked for me. It helped. At the time, what I found out was I kept going off and on vaping because I'd have a pretty bad cough when I tried to initially vape. You'll hear some people say, well, VG, PG, higher VG. Come to find out, I am one of those that I'm not as tolerant to PG, which is a propylene glycol, which is what's in the juices. Vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, and of course your flavoring. But I had an aversion to the PG, and I gave it a couple days because first, let me tell you this. When you start vaping, you're going to cough. You're going to cough. And most people are like, what? That's why I want to quit cigarettes. Trust me. The first time you picked up a cigarette, I bet you probably coughed. And the second time. And the third time. The same concept's going to happen with e-cigarettes. Give it a day or two. Bear with it. You will get past it just like you did with cigarettes. You get past the cough. If it goes beyond 2 to 3 days, you might want to find a higher VG, or they call max VG, higher VG content juice, and try that because you might have an aversion to PG. So that gave you an idea of a couple of the devices. There is another one I wanted to show you real quick. This is a little more going for the gusto here, but this is called the Penguin. And as you can see here, got all the safety markings, all that kind of good stuff on there. And just for the record, just so everybody knows, you probably won't find me doing, I have no problem doing reviews, but I'm not going to be one of those that tends to show, I'll show the initial package, but I'm not one of those that tends to show every single side and the back and then shows you everything that comes in the package. This is just an intro video, so I'm just kind of barely showing you just some of the options that are out there. Now this one has a little pod that you fill with juice through the bottom. And you just simply slide it into the device, press your little buttons, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. Once you have it on, it's simple. You press the button, it fires, you breathe it in, you vape. Now as you saw, a little more vape content there, a little more of the clouds, so to speak. Some people are cloud chasers. You'll hear them say cloud chasers because some people think it's just really cool to get the clouds, but they still get their nick. And some people could care less about the clouds. It's more about and honestly, when you're coming off cigarettes, it's not as much about the clouds as it is, you want to get that nick. And you search for that same cigarette feel and all that good stuff. And I'll be honest with you, this has been one of the closest of the newer devices, the Juul, my humble opinion. Once again, these are just opinions of an old vaping fool. Please watch all reviewers that are out there. You'll find the one that maybe you click with, you think that you maybe vape their style once you get into vaping, or you just click with their sense of humor. So far I know this hasn't been too entertaining. It's more educational in the intro, but So that's one of the kind of the devices. Now let's say you're a pipe smoker. Believe it or not, there are options for pipe smokers and tobacco. And I got a tobacco juice in here because I'm one of the few. There are many out there that like tobacco. I actually like the true tobacco flavoring, and I'll cover here in just quickly in a few seconds. I actually get true tobacco flavoring and I make my own juice as well. Way overwhelming. Right now we're just talking about devices. It's really the same concept as some of the other devices I already showed you. You got a tank on top, a juice, and this has a built-in battery. You know, it's just looks like a pipe. And then you got to step up the clouds, bro, clouds, so to speak. Now, let me go ahead and show you this a little up close. This is the Captain PD270. So far, loving it. You'll hear, if you're new to vaping, you're going to hear a lot of differences between batteries, yada, 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 18650s, 2700s. As I've learned from many reviewers, stuff I didn't know to begin with. And this here is what's called an RDTA. I'll explain that a little later. But when you hear the numbers that... when people see 18650s, and I learned this actually from vaping with Vic. Shout out to you, Vic. I learned a lot from you. 18 is the millimeter round. The next two numbers, 65 would be the millimeter in length, and then the last 0 is round in shape. So when you hear 2700, it's 2700. Don't want to make it sound like 2700. Sorry, 2700. 20 millimeters round, 70 in length, 0 in shape. I know. Eric, I thought you were talking, this is going to be new. Not rocket science. So, this one is real simple. You put your device on, tells you your ohmage, wattage. Now, for those of you who are smoking and you want to get off vaping, this is not the device I recommend to start with. Just because there are a lot of things you do need to know before you kind of get into this realm. Now, there are brick and mortar shops. By all means, visit them. They can educate you and all this kind of stuff. I'm just trying to show you a little bit of the different devices you see out there. And when someone says, hey, try vaping, doesn't necessarily mean go straight to this. There are, as I showed you, much better options that are easy, charge, put it in, puff, and go. Sorry, I had to get me a little bit of vape. So I hope that gives you a little idea. Like I said, you're going to hear all the different kinds of... let's go back to the camera here. Go down, let me show you. This is an RDA. What that means is it's a buildable deck, rebuildable dripper atomizer. There's a deck down here, there's a cat that goes over, airflow. You build your coil, you put your cotton and your juice down, and you simply plug it in and vape. I say simply because I'm not going to go into the education right now as far as wattage, voltage, and all that kind of stuff. There are tons of reviews out there and videos of people that have covered that already. I may still cover stuff like that, but I'm just trying to show you some of the different devices that are out there. Not to make it harder, sorry for the noise, not to make it harder or too much for your brain. This is called an RDTA. Rebuildable dripper tank atomizer. The tanks below, obviously, you have the coils that you would place, build, cotton, so on and so forth, and juice would go in there, feeds up into the cotton, put it on, vape, and go. So that covers just a couple of different devices. I'm not even going to go into some of the more complex devices that like I love. You might want to getting into stuff like this. Yeah, when you start getting into stuff like that, RDTAs, and yeah, there's going to be some things you have to consider. Little pouches for little tiny tools. It's a little tiny pouch, just to give you an idea. This thing that's in my hand, you see the concept there? Just a little pouch with some tools and cotton. You got to carry some of that stuff around. Speaking about coils, Coilology, for those who already are vaping, makes a wonderful 7-in-1. You've probably seen the reviews, Probably already seen, but I'll go ahead and show it to you anyway. It's a nice little 7-in-1 kit. I like Ni80. Once again, I'm not going to get into the different wire types here because this is about the smokers who are just getting off, going into vaping, and the stuff you consider. Odds are you're going to go to something this, maybe a pen device with a tank, and I can show you that real quick. Most of the times when you walk into a store, especially nowadays, it's all you'll see ads on it, you see people vaping it, but this is the TFV8. Has what's called a pre-built coil in there. You unscrew the bottom to replace the coils. Not going to go much further in depth into that at the moment, because like I said, this is not really a video on how-to at the moment. It's just more of a getting you educated on the many things that are involved with vaping. It can be as simple as this. It can be as complex as batteries, wire, cotton, so on and so forth. But not to make it sound more complicated than it really is. It's not that complicated. Once you get used to it, just like anything. Is it as easy as smoking a cigarette? No. But I think the point is to get off cigarettes. And that's hard enough as it is. So I always recommend when you're first starting, you go with a simple device. I even usually recommend something that you don't even have to fill. And there's several other pod devices like the Juul that's out there that will be successful, hopefully for you. If not, there's still, like I said, there's the blue. The reason why I kind of went with the blue is having the PG issue. Blue, their juices are higher VG. But there are pods out there that have higher VG content as well. So there are tons of options. And that's what usually overwhelms the new smoker, the new vapor, the smoker trying to get off those cigarettes. It's tough. It's rough. Like I said, I still fight the battle currently. The stress in life will sometimes make you want to go back. There's nothing to be ashamed in that. It's not a matter of how you get knocked down. It's how you get back up. So even if you start vaping and you still find you're smoking cigarettes, it's going to be a conversion. It's not going to be a vape, drop the cigarettes immediately. Check with your brick and mortar shops. They'll give you that education. Watch reviews all over YouTube. What I do recommend is to do those things first. Don't just go online and say, oh, I saw a review for this device, I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to try it. No. It doesn't usually work as easy and as simple as that. I wish it did. But anyway, I'm sure you've seen in the cigarette stores when you go, or even the gas station, you go, I want that pack of cigarettes. You've seen the other alternate device. Trying to think of the word. New tongue, bought it at a discount store, so it's not working at the moment. It's right there. It's in my tongue. Oh well. It doesn't matter. So it'll come to me at a later point, at which point I go, man, wish I'd gotten that in the video. So I know I covered it a lot. To sum it up, it's real simple. When you first get off cigarettes going to vaping, whatever device you use, go for the simple device that's going to give you the nicotine you want. There's going to be flavors. Go for the taste. Find something you like that's going to keep you off the cigarettes. Know that it's going to be a transition. You may start off, if you're a pack a day, you may start off vaping and then down eventually to half a pack. And the goal is to get completely off the cigarettes. Save your money. Don't immediately go, oh, right, I didn't have to buy as many packs of cigarettes. I can just put that money towards bills. Not that I'm saying putting that money towards bills is a bad thing, but you're going to be spending money in vaping. You may start off in this device and it may last you forever. And you may go, that's all I ever need. Great if that works for you. Most people move on to something else or want the newer device. Especially guys, we tend to love gadgets. Oh yeah. Excuse me, get me a little drink of water here. A little parched. That leads me to the next piece of advice. When you're vaping, first start vaping, even if you're a seasoned vapor, we all know about water. It's important to stay hydrated. Sometimes vaping, depending on the juice, depending on what you're doing, it can tend to dry out your mouth. So it's nice to have a little bit of water around. Plus, water is good for you. So I hope some of this information was helpful. don't be scared when you walk into those shops. Walk right up there and tell them what you want, and just tell them I want something simple. Or if you want to go complicated, but get your education about those devices. Take your time, because there's nothing worse than walking into a shop going, I don't know what I want. I just want to get off cigarettes. They sell you a device. You're caught up in the moment and go, oh yeah, the device looks cool. It's got pretty lights. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know how to change. And then you get home, you get too frustrated. Something doesn't work right. Maybe they sell you a bad coil. Not their fault. Not all, anything that's manufactured, you're going to run across some bad pieces now and then. And you get frustrated and you say, screw it, go back to cigarettes. Trying to prep you up so that's not what you do. Set you up for success. Save your money. Go simple. Go simple at first. Don't want to leave this out. This is an option. They have other pod devices as well. Some with fancy lights, some with cool lights. Woo! Christmas time, why not? But yeah. Welcome to Erock Vapes. Hope to have a lot more coming out. I do have some reviews of some juices coming out. Because that's one thing you'll find when you get into vaping. There are a plethora. That's a big word. I just like saying it, plethora. There are a plethora of juices out there. Oh, I get, just to give you an idea. Latte. It's like a latte. Well, flavor profile is a little more complex than that. You have this Premise Reason. It has strawberry, acai, and coconut milk. So, I mean, vaping has come a long way. When I first started, it was pen style, and that's all you had, baby. And the juice was shitty, to say that's putting it nicely. So, they've come a long way. Wonderful flavors. And I'm just looking over here at my little turntable here. Tons of wonderful flavors and options for people out there. Now, you're coming into vaping at a wonderful time. Because there's pretty much anything for everybody. Even those who, like me, love tobacco. There's even a company out there called Black Note. They make, you know what, I'll go ahead and show this down low here. Down low. How low can you go? I don't know. Sorry, just getting a little bit bigger bottle to show you. Black Note. Company I recommend if you do have tanks. Not really recommended for RDAs, drippers, as I showed you those drippers. It's really recommended more for tanks and more for lower wattage. Give you an example. If you go into a store, they'll tell you, oh, we got 0.5, we got 1.5, 1.8 ohm coils. That's usually the lower wattage. 0.5 mid-range, but anyway, that's talking about coils. So here you see, now I told you I have an aversion to PG, but for some reason they use Nick salts in here, but for some reason I'm able to vape this with no problem. But it is truly a tobacco experience for me. Everything from the taste to the throat hit, and you'll hear that when you watch these videos. People talk about throat hit. You don't really realize what throat hit is until you go to vaping and you go, man, I'm just not getting that experience. I'm not getting that fill up of the lungs, the kind of experience that I used to get. Vaping, I can tell you right now, it goes deeper into your lungs than, oops, sorry if I hit the mic, deeper into your lungs than cigarettes do. But anyway, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to cover for my first intro video. Like I said, welcome to Erock Vapes. I do have some live reviews coming up. Well, the review of the juice probably may not be live, but you'll find the weekends especially, I'll be doing live videos. If you found any of this helpful or even remotely entertaining, not the face, just the content, please feel free to subscribe, like. It's not for the money. It's just so I know if I'm doing good by you, the viewer. If you have any comments, suggestions, feel free to put them down there in this video. I am definitely open to criticism, and here it comes. Oh yeah. So, with that having been said, I'll say this. You'll find the vaping community to be a strong, for the most part, nice. Doesn't matter what walk of life, what color. It's all about that struggle of getting off cigarettes, which has infected all races. So you'll find a warm, welcoming community. There's a lot of Facebook groups. I will eventually probably wind up posting some of those Facebook groups that you can go join, where you can get help and assistance as you go through your vaping journey. So, yeah, other than that, it's all about lifting up others. That's how we rise up, is by lifting others and giving back. Those of us who have gotten off cigarettes and we're now vaping, or even I still struggle. The struggle's real. But anyway, we like to give back. We like to see those who can get that experience and get off the cigarettes, or even mostly get off as much as you can. The goal is to get off completely, but you can do it. Yeah, it's not always easy alone. You'll need support. That's what a lot of the Facebook groups, that's what a lot of these YouTubers, these reviewers, that's what we do. Yeah, I'm going to give probably some shout outs, links down in the description of this video to some of my favorite reviewers. As I said, I think in the first video, feel free, go check them out. They're some of my style of reviewers. Vaping with Vic, love them, absolutely love them. He stayed true. Twisted with 420, very entertaining. He's got that 80s thing. He's stuck in the 80s, man, but it's pretty cool. The recent one that I've been checking out, he doesn't have enough subscribers. Go check him out, Mr. Just Right 1. He is all about giving back to the community, giving back to the people. So check him out. Daniel DJ LSB. DJ LSB. Daniel at DJ LSB. It's just DJ LSB. 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 Yeah, I said that right. DJ LSB. He's what you're going to find more technical. So once you're more into vaping, or even if you just like to see stuff being taken apart and put back together, you can tell he must have had a lot of fun when he was a kid, tearing stuff apart. But he's good at putting it back together and explaining the ins and outs and how this stuff works, whether it has a protection or not, whether it's true, whether the wattage they say, whether, I'm just going to make up my own words. Yeah, that's cool. It's just wetter. So anyway, those are just some of the few. I'll try and link them down in the description below. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And yeah, lift others.